So, when people want me to keep their names and not talk about them no more, well, that does feel very much like trying to keep secrets. If you're actually helping, I don't mind doing that. I'm still gonna record it. I I hurt so much. I don't even know how to explain to y'all how much I hurt. There's about 2.5 hours worth of time that I can work on what I need to. That's obviously not going to be enough time. If somebody's going to help me, I got to be able to post up the evidence in a place where people will be able to see it. That way, if something happens to me, they'll be able to find it. I never wanted to post everybody's secrets up. I didn't want to post up their personal business. The thing is that their personal business was their reasons for not helping me. And the reason for not helping me did not match up to what the police officers who I was trying to turn in were claiming. They didn't understand that if they didn't come forward, that those officers were going to get away with doing those things. Now there's a lot of evidence that shows that those officers did those things to a lot more people. Some of those officers are in prison for doing the things that they did to me, except not literally, because nothing happened to them when they did that to me. They got away with it, which gave them a big head. And so they did it to somebody else. And that's when they got in trouble. When they did it to somebody else, that somebody else had somebody in their life that cared. Sammy Leon Lawrence IV had people in his life who cared right then and there and actually did something about it. Same thing with Zaid Atkinson. I had to go to a lot of real nasty people who abused the homeless and the disabled in order to make a name for themselves. And then, of course, they went straight for a false narrative, for a cheap victory that threw all of the real victims in the dirt. The majority of the victims of the Boulder Police Department are the people that they don't have to take a report from. They just simply refuse to take a report from a homeless person. And yeah, they abuse the homeless a lot, and you get to hear on my channel from the homeless and from many others. They say, oh, just let it go. You know what letting it go does? It allows Boulder Police Department to get away with making outrageous claims. Like, there is use of force in less than 0.03%, what do you call that? Police brutality in less than 0.03% of their situations. No, it was physical altercations in less than 0.03. That means out of over 300 situations that the police officers are in, there's only one situation where they are physically abusive. Meanwhile, they have physically abused me plenty, and I've illegally been prevented from turning them in plenty. Bonjour. You doing alright tonight? What? You doing alright tonight?
I'm all fucked up, man. You know them fuckers down in I went to Albany, I went to DMV, and they said you can reinstate your license for to drive for $75. So I went back to Newport, took the test, and passed it, and paid them $75, and went all the way to Salem for the driving test at Training Wheels, and passed it. And I went to Newport to pick up my driver's license. Guess what happened?
What?
They turned around and said, "Oh, you gotta you gotta have eyeglasses, and you got a ticket in Reno, Nevada, and another ticket in Alaska." You know what? I tried to call Alaska and Reno, Nevada to fucking get those tickets straightened out, whatever they are, so I can get my license. Guess what?
What?
Nobody's there to fucking answer the phone. This Oregon phone gigged me and fucking gave me a fucking false promise.
That keeps happening. We don't
That's
matter.
over that industrial shit that I know about.
They're not following the
25
laws.
years without my driver's license, I should be clear. And they say I have tickets in other states. Those tickets ran out. The one in Reno, Nevada is 30 years old or better. Maybe 20 years old. It's too old to be there. And the ticket in Alaska, another one. It's fucking way too old to be there.
I hold that stuff over your head for forever.
Yeah, but Oregon Clear, they run out of time.
It still costs you a lot to run around and still not have a license. How many days and how much money you think you spent doing that?
What? It cost me $140 to take that test and reinstate my license in Oregon, but they won't give it to me because of Nevada and it's like one of those renter agreements. You got to pay a deposit to get an application, and then if the application don't pass, they keep your deposit.
Yup. And that gets expensive because, I mean, if you start off at 18 on the street,
for an application, turn around denying my deposit.
But they keep your money
That's
anyway.
fucking goddamn swashbuckling the country, man. They have no right to tell me that I have a right to driver's license and turn around and grab Reno, Nevada, grab Nevada and Alaska and tell me that Oregon law doesn't want I can't have a license because of Alaska and Nevada is their buddy. Hell, that's business fraud. Alaska and Nevada isn't supposed to fucking mess with Oregon law. I should get my Oregon driver's license. If I leave this state to get another driver's license in another state, I'm supposed to change that driver's license in 30 days to drive in that other state, right? It's like if I come to Oregon and with another driver's license and I change it to Oregon driver's license, I have to do it in 30 days or 90 days. That's what I know about my parents in Colorado. They said, "Oh, you got 30 days to change your driver's license now that you're in Oregon," right?
For me, I'm stranded here. I don't live here. And I do explain it to them. They're going to want me to change everything over so that I can get everything legal. That sucks because it's going to cost me a bunch of money I don't have to get it legal.
What have you been doing?
I've been trying to get some help turning this stuff in these agencies and all the runaround they put us through. How expensive it is, how much time it takes, and how in the end, after all the empty promises, we end up with nothing, but we spent all our money.
Yeah, there's a strip of money. I got 2 years in Oregon to straighten out those other states to get my license. How am I going to do that? I can't afford those tickets. They're too big. They just want me to quit sending money to fucking Yang to come to America to live with me because they're fucking jealous of the premier fucking war. See, if I take my premier with Yang,
I still haven't figured out.
Pay me and Yang to stay here.
You keep sending her cards to clothing companies so that she can get her phone hooked up at these different clothing companies.
Who, me?
Wasn't that the last one that you were showing me was
Nordstrom
Rack?
Cards. They get money out of them.
Out of a Nordstrom Rack card?
When you get a Nordstrom card, she just goes in there and she cashes it in for money. She has a black market to trade her the card for the money.
Ah.
You know what I mean? They just sell it back to Nordstrom and say they sent them a wrong card.
God, that sucks.
What you been doing? Sleeping in your car?
Yeah,
Think my tent's dry?
probably not.
I zipped it shut tight. It shouldn't be wet. Did it snow here? Very deep.
It kind of, sort of. It was hailing. We got some frozen rain and some hail both in the same day.
I just saw the top today in Newport.
Uh, where's my tobacco? I,
How's that hot?
I don't know. I didn't
Got
hit
my
it.
lighter?
Nope, I'm still looking for my lighter, but no, I didn't hit it.
Oh, you need a lighter?
I do, but also since that one guy gave me that pot that had meth in it, I'm like, yeah, I'd just as soon not take it from anybody.
Mine's 44. What time's Fred Meyer's called? Already?
See, I got my own. It's tobacco, but it makes me cough. It works.
I gotta go get some around.
Yes, sir.
Tomorrow.
Yes, sir. I guess about 2 hours now going in. It's about 45 minutes for my computer to even get up and running, and it takes anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour for it to shut down completely. So I'd get in there, turn it on just in time to turn it off. Mm. 6 years of trying to show this evidence. See, the problem isn't that, like with a lot of these folks, when they find out that I've gone somewhere already, and I try to explain to them I had to do it alone, that's why it didn't work. So we do have to retry that place. But they won't retry it, just like they wouldn't try it originally either. They made me go in alone, even though that's the legal process I'm supposed to take. And I have attempted to follow the legal process every step of the way. I have been denied access to the legal process because the people who run that legal process aren't going to follow the law if nobody cares. Or, of course, in the situation where it might result in their friends getting in trouble. The problem with Polly Olson, she didn't want to do her job because she was friends with some of my predators. Well, a lot of people are real fond of saying this ain't my fault and that ain't my blah 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 ain't my fault, and so on and so on and so on. Well, here's the thing. When it comes to mandated reporters, that's one of the things they're taught not to say. One of the things they're taught not to do. I've got my audio recording device, and I was thinking about using it to record the conversations between myself and another person, just because what's said between her and I is important, and it will be important for future reference. That'll be a lot easier to do if I record it before somebody gets angry and erases it or destroys it, or before it starts having that little error thing that pops up now in a lot of them. People screwed up big, but nobody screwed up as big as law enforcement. I'm an at-risk adult who is trying to turn in abuse against an at-risk adult. They preyed on the fact that I didn't have friends or family or a guardian or advocate. The fact that Megan Misigatis made it so incredibly easy for them to get away with it. They get to say, oh, he had an advocate. And Megan Misigatis, well, she definitely made mention of the fact that she basically got took. And not basically, no, she got took. They straight up used her and her position and her title as an excuse to pretend like I had what it is that I'm legally supposed to be provided with. They also illegally denied her the access or right to do what it is that an advocate is even supposed to do, knowing that it was against the law for them to do so. Don't get me wrong, I feel bad for a lot of these idiots. I feel bad for Megan Misigatis. I really do. However, feeling bad for her getting suckered, I let her know it was coming. She didn't want to listen. And then when it bit her in the ass, it really didn't bite her in the ass. That's the thing. When there's a fire, right, you got a big old bonfire behind a drunk person. And I have to describe them as drunk people, because how the fuck could they ignore me saying the same thing so many times and still not fucking get it? I'm speaking the English language. When you're backing up into a fire, right, you're about 20 feet away, but you're backing up. And I say, hey, there's a fire behind you. Oh, no, there's no fire. Yeah, there is, actually. And also, you know, the more you step backwards, the closer you're getting to that fire. Do you not feel the fire? Oh, there's no fire. I feel fine. You feel fine because you're drunk. You don't realize there's a fire. There's a bonfire right behind you because you're drunk. It should register to you that it's fucking dark out, and the only reason you can see any of us in the middle of the fucking night is because there's a bonfire, but you're still stepping backwards right into the fuck. Now you're on fire. I told ya. You're backing up into the fire. Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you tell? I did tell you. I fucking told you. I told you repeatedly. Then I explained it. I explained it while you continued to back up and say, no, there's no fire, there's no fire, there's no fire. And then, whoo, there you go. Backed right the fuck up into it. Because you wanted to assume, because I am autistic, that I am retarded. How the hell are you going to advocate for somebody that you assume is fucking retarded? Especially when you get time and again, over and over and over again, when you don't follow the processes that are set forth, it doesn't work. When you make excuses not to try it, it doesn't work. When your excuse not to try it is that it doesn't work, the fact is you haven't tried it. You've just blown it off. That's why it's important to record the professionals saying it and writing it down, and also making big mistakes. Like them telling me to go to the places that I'm trying to turn in for abuse and neglect. Yeah, that's not going to work. What incentive do they have to do their father-mucking jobs? What incentive do they have to get off their backsides? If you don't care when they don't do their jobs, what incentive do they have to follow the law instead of trying to break the law to prevent evidence from coming forward, what incentive do they really have? You know, if there are no actual consequences for them breaking the law because nobody cares, then I mean, the reality of the situation is that it's lawlessness, which you guys keep telling us that we need the law for and we need law enforcement for. But law enforcement is not following the law, they are lawless. So, what the fuck? They just make up the law as they go along. If they want to help you, the law says one thing. If they don't want to help you, it says another. If you're pretty, they'll tell you one thing. If you're ugly, they'll tell you another. If you're a male, they'll tell you one thing. Female, they'll tell you another. And it also depends upon how much cash you got. Bias runs the world, folks. That's what made the Greeks so wonderful, is that they made human nature legal. Mob law, whether it's communism, socialism, or democracy, they all mean the same thing. Mob law, mob rule. Everybody's supposed to work together for the common good of all of us, but the reality of it is people are selfish. They have selfish wants. They want to breed with the pretty ones. Whether you're a male or a female, you want to breed with particular genetics. You see somebody who is genetically appealing and they matter more. They're more important than the rest of the animals. We're all animals, just so you know. We're mammals, a very specific type of animal. We have fur and we give live birth. Those are two very important qualities to being a mammal. But then we get some strange mammals, don't we? Like the duck-billed platypus. What a strange mammal. It's got fur, and it's not feather-like fur. It's actual fur, and it's got a bill like a duck, and it lays eggs. And it's got feet that are webbed like a duck. None of this matters, though, does it? No, not really. Fucking tobacco pipe. That's right. I went and got the... I don't have to smoke it out of the fucking tobacco pipe. I got rolling papers and I got some of this, what is it, 4 aces, buy one, get one. Fuck. That's why you don't smoke tobacco out of a tobacco pipe made out of aluminum foil. You might choke to death. Anyway, I should go into Denny's and try to do this there. Late at night is the best time to try to do this stuff because there's not a bunch of customers in there. But also, I was taught if you don't have $5 to tip, you're too broke to go out to eat, even if all you're getting is a cup of coffee. After setting everything up, basically that makes it so that a cup of coffee costs me about $9 because it's $3 and something cents. It's over $3.50 for a cup of coffee, but it's bottomless, and that rocks. I don't know how busy they get during the day, especially during this season. We'll see. Maybe tomorrow morning I'll try to panhandle up. It's the Christmas season. You know, historically, when I've gone out around the Christmas season, I've been able to make almost $50 a day. When I got back from Virginia, though, like I really needed to make money I was staying with Miss Peaches and Raja, and I was visiting them for about about a week and a half, 2 weeks, and they didn't have a lot of food. It was Christmas coming up, and I went out there and panhandled every day to make sure that we had food. And of course, everybody was into a game called Magic the Gathering. So some of the money that I was given, I spent on Magic the Gathering cards down at the local shop, the local nerd shop. And of course, I also spent some of that money on my daily needs. Spent some of it on gasoline, spent some of it on insurance, spent it on, well, the things that I needed to. I had another Honda Civic hatchback at the time, the one that I went to Virginia in, the one that I earned from getting that job at Subway. I was only supposed to be gone for 2 weeks, of course, and Natalie was gonna try not to have a mental breakdown while I was gone, but I was gone longer than 2 weeks. I told David and Laura I wouldn't leave until I paid it off. That was the deal that they wanted, so that's what they got. I kept my end of the bargain. And I'll continue keeping my end of the bargain as long as you keep yours. But I am an at-risk adult. I can't do these things for myself. I can't defend myself. I need help. The laws are stacked up against victims because although the laws to protect us do exist, you got to have somebody who actually cares about you for them to be enforced. There's the 3 things that you're taught to do if you're being bullied. This is also the stuff if you're being abused. Bullying is abuse. What do bullies do? They beat you up. That's against the law, and it is abuse. They emotionally abuse you. They physically abuse you. Sometimes they sexually abuse you. Bullying is abuse. And when they do it as a group, is it group bullying? Is that what I should call it? Or do we call it gang stalking? Well, we got so many gang stalkers out there, and they want to, when somebody says gang stalker, they want to try to make it have a crazy connotation. So they're like, oh, well, these people think that there's unicorns and spaceships that are giving anal probes to the CIA as brainwaves. That's what gang stalking means. These people that think that aliens and the CIA and the Illuminati did it. No, it just means that a group of fucking people are bullying someone. That's what it means. Tim Beeson didn't need to bully me. He needed to leave me alone. If he'd have left me alone, I wouldn't have had to contact anyone to try to get help. And if he'd have kept his word to kill me, I wouldn't have had the ability to reach out to anybody for help. Or to post it on the internet that there was a problem. That's right. I posted it up on my Facebook before Natalie was killed about the situation with Tim Beeson, about the abuse from Tim Beeson, about the assholery from Tim Beeson. Don't fuck with my family. That's what a lot of people don't get. They don't get that it wasn't just threats against me. Are they closed? Could I get a hamburger? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Nope, that'll be all. Thank you, ma'am. Yes, I know you guys are used to me screaming and shouting and being a poor asshole. Well, that's what it takes to get you guys to listen. But yeah, I know how to be fucking civil. Hello. I'm sorry it's such a process. The vehicle is old and I'm too broke to fix it, and I am not a mechanic. You two will do. Oh, alright. I like Burger King burgers better than McDonald's burgers. There I go, trying to drive with the parking brake on. I try telling y'all that these things are unsafe because of the trauma that I've been through, like my mental capacity to pay attention all the time is not always there. I miss people. I miss all of my loved ones. I miss all of them, not just the dead ones. I miss all of my loved ones. All the time I miss them. I feel how much it hurts to not see them, to not get to tell them how much I love them, to not get to hug them, to get to hear their voices is so much more of a gift than you guys are even capable of imagining, because you've not been deprived of such things. And for certainly not for this long. On the bright side, I didn't have to tip, get a cheap hamburger, $1.99. It's a better dinner than no dinner. There's a lot of stuff that is still private. And despite the fact that people did extremely horrible shit, it's still private just because of the horrible nature of it. Or because it has private information in it that'll get me in trouble if I post it. I don't mean any crime that I committed. I mean, there are certain things that they won't allow. Anyway, it's good to be rid of you. Thanks for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Remember, you are your brother's keeper and no victim left behind.